because you have to kind of think. You're like, why mushrooms? Why are these, kind of geeky people so interested in this organism?
This organism plays a role in every life of every tree.
We're running around with three of the greatest experts in the field in the world.
They're critical for the entire ecosystem. They sort of control the ecosystems.
Every tree in your garden is connected to a mushroom, and those mushrooms connect other trees.
More than 50% of our total natural resources are still not studied, not explored. To me, Himalaya is also like Amazons of the Asia.
The Himalayas are unlike any other place on Earth. There is something unknowingly strange about these mountains, and yet I feel a sense of peace among these soaring peaks. This is especially true at night. I remember standing outside after dusk at Gorakchep, the last village before Everest Base Camp. Looking around in the surreal early evening light, I saw the moon rising through clouds which had come up and over the mountains. These clouds brought a soft blanket of several inches of June snow which would slow my friend's climb of Lobuche Peak. And around me, Pumari, Everest's daughter, the dark ridge of Kalapatar, and turning towards Lhotse, half sensed and half seen as clouds blew across its immense and jagged ridge rising to nearly 28,000 feet. We traveled to these extraordinary mountains in search of new mushrooms, but on this trek, each of us discovered something new and important about ourselves.
Kathmandu right now, it is definitely an overgrown city because Kathmandu is an ancient city.
Every dynasty, every king, everybody, even like citizens, elites, they've all contributed something to this place, which has made it so vibrant and which has reflected so many eras of, architectural styles, sculpture styles. I think what is very unique about our art, which partially developed in Kathmandu Valley, is that has been flourishing ever since.
The infrastructure was never meant for this kind of population, but of course recently there's been a lot of influx of people from all over the villages, all over Nepal, and of course it is overgrown.
It's hard to put into words what's essentially ineffable, the spiritual experience that you see or can sense, but it's really quite a thing of beauty.
From the start of human civilization, we had like all the gods, we had all the holy monks, we had all the religious people coming to Kathmandu Valley to pay homage.
Most people going to the Everest region fly into Lukla, but miss seeing the lush and mushroom-rich Solo Khumbu. We went into the Himalayas by the traditional route, using four-wheel drive land cruisers. Our only delay was a small landslide which covered the highway. After a couple of hours, our excellent and hard-working drivers got us through. And we were on our way to an exciting river crossing.
Which has delayed but not dimmed our purpose, nor the enthusiasm and the good sense of humor throughout.
Climate change is wreaking similar havoc in a lot of different ways in a lot of different places, and the challenges of climate change and the loss of glacier cover and the loss of water supplies and infrastructural problems that come with that. I think it did feel like we are in a very unique place.
Certainly the trials of the drive from Kathmandu that we all experienced together, swerving our way through the landslide on a steep slope. I don't even know, 70 degrees, maybe 60 degrees, looking down 1,000 feet to the river.
Reaching out to jump on this trek as a journalist was for me really exciting, as so last minute, and thinking, oh, it's never going to happen, and not being able to sleep really for 2 nights because I was so excited and so wanted this opportunity. So to be here in this beautiful, beautiful valley, it's truly to me always going to be a life-changing opportunity and something I'll value for the rest of my life.
The adventure was pretty hard-edged for us at this age and stage.
Body that not many people do, Juliana.
Thank you.
The wealth of this country in terms of its culture and the natural beauty that it just abounds.
A lot of the trek was extremely challenging, physically and mentally. For me, because I'm extremely afraid of heights, there was a lot of mental challenge. And I mean, you can see tremendous distances. Fulfillment. Every day getting to the destination, and everyone was like tired but amped up because we saw more amazing things.
Yeah, this is Otidia. Wait a minute, are they? No, it looks like perfect or not. I can't tell if it has overlapping sides. I think maybe it's not Otidia. I think it's a Pizziza.
Most challenging was probably just the act of trekking, because it takes a lot of work to hike up, especially if you're not used to the altitudes of the Himalayas, which, coming from the east coast of the US.
A lot of people worry about trekking to over 17,000 feet. We make sure to take the time necessary to properly acclimate to high altitude hiking. In addition, during the trek, Sonam brought everyone together each morning for a little yoga, stretching, and fun exercise.
I'm Sonam Sherpa from Purse, Solukhumbu, and Everest region. I am formal Buddhist monk, and now I'm national guide license holder, and I'm guiding in Himalaya and altitude mountain like Himalaya in Everest region and Nepal. We have a little knowledge about the Buddhist yoga. During the trek, we did every morning exercise, stretching and straining the muscles. That's really helpful for the body, and not only for the physical, spiritual, and mentally it's helpful for the all group be together and going together and success together.
All over the world, scientists are trying to catalog life, before things go away.
Our goal is to take this resource that's here as an opportunity to train and employ indigenous communities in these remote areas, because they are the primary stakeholders.
Kind of contribute to the scientific knowledge of this area and the mushrooms that are found here.
It's kind of a slow discovery process where first you find something that looks interesting in the field, which is always exciting. Aloria aurantia, which we call the orange peel fungus.
Okay. So this is Aloria. Okay, so next.
No, spored out already. The other exciting step where you realize you found something really cool.
And what type do you think that is?
This is Coprinus decimanitus.
This is absolutely beautiful.
A lot of the fungi we were collecting are the organisms that have obligate symbioses with the trees and other plants, so they're critical for the entire ecosystem. They sort of control the ecosystems.
Kind of regulating vein a bit.
Okay. See, like this one, sir. Gills attachment. We need to look for the attachment of these gills. Okay, back, and their ornamentations. How gills are being arranged. Moist, slimy. This structure. And it's this type is hollow.
Westerners maybe don't know what grows here, so they might be some that are new to us, but maybe not new to people who live here.
Okay, and here you see another mushroom.
Oh yeah.
Yes. It's some food for us. It's already like
This one we just found out from our Sherpas that is their favorite mushroom to eat in this region.
This is not only about mushrooms. This is about this ecology, you see. And there is a dead stump. And this kind of fallen trees are important for the ecosystem.
Oh, okay.
You see it coming from the soil,
Yeah.
but it's actually coming from the root tips of the trees.
Mm-hmm. We're excited to learn from the people who live here and to learn more about the mushrooms of the Khumbu region.
We learned about this trek from our local mushroom club, the Sacramento area mushroomers. And I think for a lot of mushroomers, this would be a dream come true to travel to such a beautiful place so far away from where we live.
Dr. Devkota and I have been working on for about 4 or 5 years now, which is to introduce the world of mushrooms, of macrofungi, to citizen scientists who would come to Nepal, be taken to those remote areas, these beautiful areas, to not only experience the mountains, the people, but to use this as an opportunity of exploring an organism that has not been fully explored.
So what now we are doing is we are trying to explore new areas, we are trying to bring new species, and we are trying to document indigenous or local knowledge associated with mushrooms. Nepal, though geographically located in between two giant countries like India and China, is a very small country, but culturally and in terms of biodiversity, this is really a very rich country.
Shiva, do you know what these are? The Himalayan region has not been particularly well studied by mycologists, so I'm happy to be out here and looking around at things that locals probably have been seeing for millennia, but that have just not been recorded by science.
It's a very harsh environment. The plants that can make it up there rely much more heavily, we believe, on mycorrhizal fungi than plants, say, in the temperate area, which still rely, very heavily on fungi to be able to survive in these very tough environments.
So regarding the mushrooms and lichens and other lower organisms, they are not well documented so far. In terms of diversity, we have 1,291 species reported so far.
It's really exciting to find new species because we get one more piece of the puzzle about what it takes to make an ecosystem hold together.
Yeah, this will be a fun one to identify. Milk mushroom of some kind. Hopefully it has a nice, easy, common name like Himalayan orange milk mushroom, but no idea. We're still kind of going through and identifying some of the mushrooms, but my three favorite ones so far are two amanitas and a tremella. Amanita, that's your typical Mario mushroom with a cap and stalk and usually dots on the top.
And speaking of the spores,
we found two that had only been recorded in the literature once before.
We were lucky enough to get 156 different varieties of different species only along the trail.
Oh, so that's a Helvella. Oh, this is not like any Helvella I've ever seen. That's crazy.
It's great.
Yeah, it was really great to see species I'd never seen before, some that haven't been documented in Nepal ever before. Some that have barely been documented ever. It was really special. Because again, I don't think it looks quite a perfect match for Lacata.
Yeah, Necrota is quite big size, yeah, it's large size.
They can be.
Yeah.
Do you know Lacaria Venecio ablanea?
So it was for the first time in the mycological exploration history in Nepal that we found psilocybin species in the Everest area. That was never found before. And not only psilocybin, we have also found Amanita tuluciana mushrooms. That was only once reported from India. We found that mushrooms even in Everest area. And still there are several interesting mushrooms like tremella and other species. They are really very interesting species for the further explorations and for the further investigations. This is the very potential area to harvest more than 10,000 mushroom species. It means still we need to explore more areas in Nepal. It used to be our old building.
Let me tell you about my friend Shiva. He grew up in Lumla, a beautiful village in the foothills of the Annapurna region. He has joint master's degrees in botany and social science and went on to earn his PhD in ecology and evolution from Bern University in Switzerland. Shiva has been working for decades studying the mushrooms and lichens of Nepal and South Asia, and without any doubt, he is Nepal's leading mushroom expert.
In Nepal, there are only a handful of people working on mushrooms, so I decided to minimize this knowledge gap.
You know, there is a world tradition that if you eat mushroom, you will die. Because those days, people don't know much about mushroom, but what happened in the mountain and villages, they collect mushroom and sometimes they happen to collect the poisonous mushroom and die.
In talking to the locals that eat this, they say they don't eat many wild mushrooms because it's not so easy to know one from the other. They know this group because of these scabers. None of the other dangerous mushrooms will have them, so they know for sure this is safe.
During the trek, Shiva took time to explain to some of the local people we met about their use of mushrooms for food. He also provided critically important information to them about how to distinguish between edible mushrooms and those that can make you sick.
It is really very sad that every year about 30 or 40 people, they are losing their life because of mushroom poisoning.
पानी जति बस्तुले घाँस खानेको चाहिँ हामी खान्छौँ बस्तुले घाँस नखाने चाहिँ खाँदैन हामी
ए बस्तुले घाँस नखाने मात्रै भयो भने त्यो चाहिँ खानु भएन
मात्छ अब बस्तुले नि त्यो घाँस खायो भने मात्छ
हजुर
अनि त्यो मात्यापछि हामी नि अब मात्छ भने मर्छ भने डर लाग्छ त्यो खाँदैन.
This reflects Shiva's scientific and personal commitment to doing whatever is possible to prevent people from accidentally hurting themselves if they eat the wrong mushroom.
ओ च्याउ त मैले मातेर खाएँ भनी शङ्का लाग्यो भने औँला हालेर त्यसलाई फाल्दिने अलिकति विष कम हुन्छ अनि हस्पिटलमा चाहिँ गइहाल्ने च्याउको उपचार भनेको त्यो घरमा हुँदैन. I am trying to bring my knowledge to the local people so that I could save one life. If I could reach out to many people and tell them that what to eat, what to avoid, I could save life. I mean, there is very old saying that if you save one life, you save the universe.
It was pretty amazing to be with Shiva to visit his childhood school outside of Lumla, and so cool to watch Shiva speak to a class of teenagers about his scientific career.
Namaste. Namaste. I was a student of this school. It is really nice that I'm back in my school with you all you guys. I'm very pleased to meet you. So I wish you good luck with your study. Okay, study very hard. And make your school proud, your parents proud, and make yourself very proud.
Today I had some personal bad news. My father died this morning. He was 98 years old, and I kind of thought this might happen before I left for Nepal, and I had the chance to say goodbye to him before I left. My father was born in 1925 in Baltimore. He was the youngest of 8 children, and went to medical school at the University of Maryland and practiced psychiatry in Washington, D.C. But I didn't want to just hold this in my heart. I wanted to share it with you all. But I also want to just say that today, when I shared this news with Shiva, with Sanam, they were both so generous and wrapped me up with big hugs. I did want to ask you to help me with something. When someone dies, I have an obligation to say something called Kaddish, or the mourner's prayer, but I need to say it within a community of people. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach yiryutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon, uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uzvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah v'barach, le'olam ul'almei ul'maya. Yit Barach, V'yish Tabach, V'yit Pahar, V'yit Raman, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Halev, V'yit Halal, Shemet Kudsho,
동안의 비대화다 미타와지 예를 자다나 레베 단년 심메바다네 바라지로지 genye미가 건너가 잡에 산제 올라지 되지 제니를 제레질란 자살로 만니베메 호만니베메 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 호리 저와디에 뉴르나 제레지 완도 전에 로와지 자말리바테 살라코브라 쇼마홍 와서 산제 나와테 나에서 저거 되지 좀바다 엔도 셈바 산제 자세 보면 거저거다 좀 와서 받으면 봐야 되고 지게
Shemet Kudsho Brichu, Leila Minkol Birchata, Bashirata, Tushbachata, Benechamata, Da Amimran, Bialma, Vimru, Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemayim, Vachayim, Aleinu Vialkol Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. Shalom Bimromav, Huya Ase Shalom, Aleinu Vialkol Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Generally, death sounds very afraid and frightening for everyone generally. And in Buddhism, death and life is part of the life. Death and born is a part of life. And even the Buddhists teach that every day we die. Just after we born, we start to die. So I pray and wish for him a special day. And another Buddha prayer, Avalokiteshvara, and its mantra is Om Mani Padme Hum, and which purify his pure body, mind, speech is transformed to the pure of the Buddha. So this is important, I thought, so I pray that day.
Nepal always had this exotic tinge to it, as being the Shangri-La, as being up in the snow-capped Himalayas.
There are 200 countries in the world, 200 countries in the world, but Nepal stands 10th in the world map of tourism as a must-visit country. It got this honor not because of any other factor, but because of the natural and cultural factor. And here in our country, nature and culture goes together hand in hand.
A lot of people came here for soul searching, and they still do.
Well, not having been here and having no background whatsoever with the country, I came in with kind of a blank slate mindset. And found the scenery, the landscapes, and the just visual beauty beyond description, beautiful.
And one of the most important factor is the human factor. And human factor in our country is the unconditional smile, unconditional laughter of the people.
I think that one of the, highest measures of humanity is how well the children, the elderly, and the animals are taken care of. And in Nepal, I saw so many acts of care towards those three groups in particular.
So what we say is the hardware, which is the country, the mountains, the jungles, but I think it is the software, which is the people and the culture and the heritage that really runs this country, and people come back to it.
There's just a really gentle spirit to the people in Nepal, and that has made it really, really worthwhile for me.
Just everywhere we were trekking, I occasionally found people praying, and the devotion that they show is immense.
It has been very much that as well. So it's been, a spiritual connection in the monastery and learning so much about Buddhism that I thought I knew a little bit. I knew next to nothing.
I think that is the reason that people come back again and again, because they find themselves somewhere, somehow, because there's so much more to it.
The things I have been asking to myself. That's why my first impressions of the country is like, this is a beautiful country, spiritual one, and I would love to know more about the culture.
This ethnic diversity is the rainbow of our country. Without that, the country is absolutely grey. We are beautiful because of this ethnic community. This is the only country in the world where all kinds of religion exist. We have Hinduism, we have Muslim, we have Christian, and never ever in the history of Nepal, a blood is shed because of any religious or any clashing. Unlike other countries, we have religious tolerance, and this is one of the most important, living cultural heritage of our country.
Great, look at that mist coming down. Isn't that cool?
As soon as we walked in, the just erupted with the sound of the horns and the cymbals and everything, and there's just so much stuff going on.
Tumchi festival हामी शेर्पाहरूको धेरै ठुलो एउटा चाडपर्व हो त्यो हाम्रो खुम्बु रिजनमा मनाइन्छ ट्याङबुजेबाट ठुलठुलो लामाहरू बोलाएर पूजा हुन्छ 18th centuryतिर चाहिँ लमसाङ दुर्जी भन्ने खुम्बुको उहाँले चाहिँ स्टार्ट गर्नुभएको गुरुपद्म सम्भावको जन्मदिनलाई चाहिँ त्यो दिन राखेर चाहिँ डुम्जी मनाएको अनि सबै गाउँलेहरू मिलेर चाहिँ त्यहाँ गुम्बामा अब डुम्जी मनाइन्छ एउटा फ्यामिली ग्यादरिङ हो फ्यामिलीहरू जहाँबाट पनि त्यो डुम्जीमा आउँछ र त्यहाँ एकै ठाउँमा बसेर खाने पिउने सबै व्यवस्था गरेर डुम्जी मनाइन्छ साथसाथमा हामीले पूजा यस्तो पनि गरिन्छ
Oh, Mama, look at these.
Should we go out into the light?
Yeah, take them out into the light. Oh, it's so pretty. This is mycologists.
Oh. It looks like cornflakes.
Okay, now you can take a peek.
So again, this one looks pretty similar, you know, gray with patches, but if you saw the base of the stem, it's totally different in every possible way. Two Ammonita species we found on this trek. One was in the sort of subgroup called Lepidellas. That's the most ancient of all the groups of Ammonitas. The names of species we were using that we were very familiar with, you know, we recognized them from Europe as well as North America. The names we're using probably aren't even accurate names. It's very possible everything we found is a new species. There certainly were some that we put names on them that are known from India or China, and those are probably good names for here, but actually the majority of things we found, probably once people get a better handle on the morphological characters and even the DNA sequence analysis of them, will probably be new species to science, but there certainly were ones we had no idea what they were.
This one's really cool. This Calicera, this bright yellow, they look like little horns sticking out of the tree.
For me, one of the most valuable parts of this trip was in my capacity as a journalist, and that was going with Shiva and talking to locals in the villages that we went through and finding their perspective.
These are the kind of changes that mushrooms, that's why I think I mentioned to someone that mushrooms actually changed my life. I was getting to know like different kind of mushrooms and eating them, and then I saw this change in my, health. So that's how it really started, and since then I have been trying new things, eating different sorts of mushrooms, but also getting to know more about the other benefits they have, like medicinal properties, which I found amazing. Then, some of mushrooms may kill you. Well, there are magic mushrooms that a lot of people are very curious about that. And I decided to go back to Mexico. And I went to this tour, and I didn't know what to expect, but it was a tour for having magic mushrooms. So then I went to San Jose del Pacifico in Oaxaca. I had my dose the Mexican way. And to keep it short because I could stay like hours telling you details about my trip. It's really long because for me, it lasted like, I think I'm still on those mushrooms to be honest. But that day it was like, I stayed in the forest on my own and I got lost. So it was like 8 solid hours of being lost in the woods. And for me, that experience was very intense. And it was the sort of experience of dying and then being reborn. So for me, that was fantastic. After that, after having the mushrooms, a lot of things have been happening in my life, a lot of changes. So when I had these mushrooms, I think that they kind of opened something in me to remind me that I don't have to blame myself, like love myself more and have more confidence in myself. That's why this year, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna take the new challenges in life. This trek is one of them.
Outside of Sagarmatha, Idaho, where there's now that dinosaur exhibit.
Yeah, they moved the.
A relation between Rick and me is very deep. And we first met in Maravi trekking, October 2017.
I'm very fortunate to meet Rick Silber and Sonam from different continents with different minds and with different expertise. And now we all are together because now our chemistry, it really works. And I hope it will be working forever.
Lacaria.
Oh, Lacaria.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know this mushroom.
Yeah, Lacaria lacata.
Oh, I like it.
We have
put it in our
3 or
box.
4 varieties.
Let's put it in our box.
Allergies with glucate. That is Lacaria amesticium.
With the amethyst.
Yeah.
We are bringing our expertise together and we are bringing something new always.
We are very similar spirit and it's a brother, so we work together. And especially during mushroom trek, our relation is so deep.
I made lots of new memories, lots of new friends, and learned a lot about animals in different parts of the world.
I'm meeting a lot of new friends, many of whom have a great deal of knowledge.
Oh my God. Because of the group we're with and the people we've met, it's been so supportive and everyone here is so kind.
To be here myself and to be walking alongside people, but also see how people are reacting to this environment and see what they love and see, how it kind of brings out the best in people.
Walking on top of that little ledge, I could really feel the entire world living and breathing, and how each of us is participating in that world. That's probably the most spiritual experience. However, Gymnotus graphilus grows with oaks.
Not only did everyone get along really well, I mean, everyone, I think to the person, added to the trip too, because of things they were interested in or things that they were seeing. They wanted to share their perspective of it.
A mushroom, but I don't know what kind of mushroom. It looks like a burning candle, actually.
It's been a really nice chance to get away from everything and just be in the woods, really using our eyes to see what's growing here and hopefully making some sort of contribution to the area.
Everyone here on the trek, including our porters and guides, our fellow tourists, we're all participating in making the world a better place.
We did it!
मेरो अनुभव चाहिँ मसरुमप्रति चाहिँ कस्तो भयो भने धेरै चेन्ज चाहिँ भएको थियो अनि मसरुम भने पहिला त मैले त एउटा च्याउ साधारण जस्तो टिपेर खाँदा नि नहुने एक दुई प्यारेन्टले जे भन्यो त्यो मात्रै खानु हुने खालको लाग्थ्यो जब हामी मसरुमको ट्रेक गयो र उहाँ साइन्टिस्टहरूले त्यो पत्ता लाग्यो यस्तो यस्तो मसरुम या यति खालको मसरुम हुन्छ
As you know that like this is like a mutualism between algae.
प्लस मसरुम मात्र नभएर त्यो ज्याउहरू तर पछि गएर त्यो ज्याउलाई चाहिँ ल्याङ्किन भनेर चाहिँ मेरो दिमागमा चाहिँ धेरै चेन्ज हो या अनि खुम्बुमा त धेरै च्याउ त्यति पाउँछ र भन्ने खालको सोचाइ अहिलेसम्म थिएन तर त्यो ट्रेक पछि चाहिँ मैले मसरुमप्रति हेर्ने चाहिँ धेरै नै चेन्ज भएको छ
So, on the last day of the trek, we arrived in Fort Say village, and I knew you were engaged to Pushpa.
Oh, yeah.
But somebody said, you know, Sanam's getting married this afternoon.
कति वर्षदेखि सँगै हुनुहुन्छ तपाईहरु?
2-3 महिना.
3 महिनादेखि
3 महिना.
Suddenly, you guys were surrounding me with this beautiful Sherpa outfit and a wonderful hat, and really including me into this beautiful ceremony, which I felt so honored. It was a beautiful ceremony outside of your mother's house with food, chanting. You offering this beautiful cup with this
chang,
with the chang in it, and it had yak butter on the edges, and you were lifting this wine, and I just imagined that this wine was being offered into the universe, and it represented the joy that I think that you bring to one another.
That's a special day and ceremony. I'm so lucky that our all clients plus Mr. Rick is there with a beautiful Sherpa dress, and you come like there's a leader and head of the family, like your father's positions there, and you all time leading there. So that was so lucky day for me and my family and whole very. Thank you so much and everything. Yeah, that was
great.
That was great.
That was
great. Yeah.
My heart is full, and I'm feeling so happy that we could all do this together, and especially with all these people that have come here from all over the world to be together at this time. It's really special. Our really wonderful, special community is here to offer its love and best wishes to Sanam and Pushpa, and I couldn't be more happy and proud and honored that we're all here together in Sanam's house to do this.
It's been such a treasure to get to know both of you from all of us over the last 10 days. And we wish you so much love and success and happiness in your future together. Cheers.
Cheers.